Check 1 2. Check. Does that work? Check 1 2. Can we hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Huh? Check 1 2. I think we got it. It might be too loud. I see it's redding out at the end. There we are. Hell yeah. And there you are. I was just saying, I was listening to Tracy Lords there. That album, 1,000 Fires, Tracy Lords, that's a really good album. It's a really good album. Let me turn on my fan. Hold on. Let me say my hellos. It's been 2 weeks, guys. 2 freaking weeks because I was on call last week. That's why I didn't get to... Man, I swear, when I'm on call, you can get called all the time. It's a pain in the ass, but, I longed for you guys, for your touch for so long, and finally it's here. And we can do our rock hard updates. All right? It's going to be really fun. We're going to be talking about Scream. We're going to be talking about Nightmare. We're going to be talking about Hulk. People got pissed off about Nightmare, okay? We're going to talk about that, all right? We're going to talk about sources. We're going to, there's a reason why I kind of sit back and I wait. I don't run to the room to start, to get the update out as quick as possible. Sometimes I do that. But if it's a source that I don't really know that well, then I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna just let I guess I'm gonna let the tree shake and I'm gonna see what's gonna fall, and then I'm gonna jump in there and actually talk about it. That's just how I roll. That's how I roll. I'm not always right either, but I didn't want to jump the gun on this one. All right, I didn't want to jump the gun. Right? Oh man. Oh, Night Watch Zone Night. What's up, brother? Nice to see you in here. Robert the Wolfman. OG William, Sebastian, Chester. What's up, Chester? How you doing? Vinny, Ozzy, on tour with Brittany. Hell yeah. That's how he rolls. Or she. Robert Schumann, how you doing, brother? Erica, how you doing? She missed the last 2 lives. This feels so good. It feels really good. It really does. It feels like we're all together. Looks like my, have you guys ever seen Multiplicity? It looks like my clone is actually in the stream. That's pretty cool. I saw Dave McCrae's clone earlier too. It's pretty cool. Sometimes, you're so busy that you need a clone to go out there and help out, right? And that's Multiplicity is a really funny movie. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. Jason, what's up, brother? Born Slippy. JC Harris, Jonathan Nichols. Man, I'm seeing so many people in here. Polly, there's Polly. Yeah, Blazing Asian. I like that. Man, I'll tell you guys, we have a jam-packed show tonight. Jesus, I don't know how I'm going to make it through it all, but we're going to try. Charlotte, how you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah. Trina, your clone would not be as cool as you. God, I hope not. He might be cooler than me, if I'm being honest. Fractal, what's up, brother? Amber Hill, Evil Resident. I remember I mentioned you the last stream. Yeah. That is the straight version. I'm the gay version. Okay? And they're both good. Right? It's okay. The gay version of me is cleaner. All right? I take more showers. I take care of my health. I eat right. And the straight version of me is a big old fucking mess. Okay? But I love both sides. All right? Man, I love you guys. I love you. Damn it. Man, that's delicious. All right. Cool. Hey, don't be mean now, Clone Drumdums. Don't be mean, all right? You can come in here and you can keep my name, but if you get rude, then you got to go, all right? Don't be an asshole, okay? What you like, Hellraiser 22, Oisku. Yeah, I dug Hellraiser 2022. I didn't think it was... I think there was a lot of potential there. I liked... I think my biggest problem with the movie was some of the characters. The characters were just really, really dark and heavy, And I guess you should have that in a Hellraiser movie. But I think they found the right balance in the first Hellraiser movie, And really the third one, too. I think the third one's more on the fun side of things, But... that's not to take anything away from the new one. I think, it could have been a lot worse. All right? Notice I got a little cheat sheet there for you guys like I did a couple times ago. So you can see what we're talking about, right? You're probably wondering, what is Lee going to talk about Hulk? Like, why would Lee talk about Hulk for news? You'll see. We'll get there. It's an interesting article, okay? I wanted to go over an article. Deadhead, what's up, brother? Daniel Stone, Nuclear Fusion. God, man, how many people we got watching? Jesus. I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to look. I don't care. I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to enjoy your company. That's what I'm going to do, all right? Just going to enjoy your company. First thing out the gate, let's do this, all right? Because I need to talk about this too. Adrian James, I'll answer that. How are you feeling now that you are 50? I guess it's sort of like when I found out I was going to be a grandfather, and the idea of it, I guess it scared me. But then when it happened, I would not ever go back. Like, every Saturday I see Delilah, and it's just like the greatest thing ever, right? She brings me so much joy, so much happiness, and I'm hoping that's what 50 does for me, I think, if anything, when you hit 50, you start thinking about the clock, and you start thinking about trying to make the most out of every minute that you have, because we all have, when you think back, when you think on it, we all have a certain amount of time on this planet. So we got to do the best we can do with what we got, We got to go get it, right? And it's never too late to go get it. It's never too late to go get it. I didn't start this YouTube journey, until I was in my 40s. I was 42. Yeah, I think I was 42 when I started YouTube. And at that time, I thought, it's way too late for me to be doing this. You got these young cats that are in their 20s, early 20s, and they're killing it. They're doing, this is back in 2015. And I was just thinking, I don't have the talent they have. I'm kind of an old geezer, maybe I'm a little too out of touch with things going on. I had all these, a top 10 list of reasons why I should not do this. I should not make a channel, And one of the biggest ones was I'm too old. I felt like I was too old. Now looking back, I'm 50. Bring it on. I got more in me, right? I still feel healthy, I think when you get older, you start thinking about what you eat and what you drink and what time you stop eating, I guess, at the end of the day. That's stuff I didn't think about 20 years ago. Maybe even 10 years ago, really. But now, you start wanting to take better care of yourself. I'm not saying I'm a freaking health nut or anything. I still, treat myself from time to time, but I talked way too long about that. But yeah, you're as old as you feel. Thank you, Polly. That's it. I still feel like that kid. I still feel like that little kid that was like 13 years old, and my mother pops in my room and said, "Hey, let's go to the store and get you something for your birthday." I still feel like that kid, inside me. It's weird. But age ain't nothing but a number, guys. It ain't nothing but a number, right? Keep on keeping on. All right. So let's go over to here real quick. Did I lose it? Let's see. Did I lose it? Is that going to work? Let me see if I can get that back. Hold on. I had a window in there, and did I lose it? Here we go. Okay, guys, listen up. We got 3 days left. If I go over here, and I have an update about this too. Why you don't see a certain word. I can say the word, We can't call ourselves the Crow anymore. All right. Legally, I have to be very, very, very careful with my words. All right. I have to be extremely careful with my words legally, because I think I can say that we were reached out to by the studio. And every studio has a different set of rules with how they deal with their properties. Say you do a Friday the 13th fan film, for example. Obviously, that's fine. You can do that. There's so many Friday the 13th. There's so many Halloween ones out there. One thing we didn't know, and it's on us. It's not on them. It's not their job to police us. Is that you that property, you can't call yourself that. But I can say that they were quite impressed with what they saw, and they reached out. And they had some really kind words to say, and they gave us a nice little nudge saying, "Hey," because we thought that we couldn't do this anymore. Matter of fact, we dropped the Indiegogo for a few days. And I remember talking to Cody on the phone, and he was just like down in the dumps. He was like, "Damn, dude, 2 years we've been thinking about doing this, and now we can't do it." But full credit to Cody Falk. That guy has so much drive, and he will not stop. And he's always thinking like, maybe there's a way. And you know what? He made it happen. We can still do this. The Indiegogo is still on. I think we had a couple extra days that we lost. So now we got 3 days left. And you know what? If anything, I think this just gave us renewed energy, But now it's just called Days of Sodom. But you guys get the idea, okay? There's another official image that might be new to you. You can see we're taking this really seriously. It's going to be a great, great film. So if I go over to the news, you can see we are at 29,447. We are shooting. It is happening. Do we have all the money that we need for the entire project? No, obviously not. But we have enough to get us going. We're definitely going to have to be really smart about our schedule and, what should we shoot? When should we shoot it? Should we shift some things around? Yeah, but almost $30,000. I think it's a nice step in the right direction. Okay. I still think we can hit that goal eventually down the road. After this is phase 1, but there's going to be another phase of this, and we're not going to stop until this film is finished. Okay, I can't tell you exactly when it starts shooting, but it is really, really, really freaking soon. Okay, really freaking soon, like maybe in the next month. All right, things are already lined up, and but the thing you need to know, because there are 3 days left. What does that mean for you? Well, one, you would be supporting. I'm telling you right now, a great film. You would be supporting a great film that I can't tell you what a new title, Days of Sodom. All right, you would be supporting that. Number 2, there are perks that you have 3 days left to get. That's pretty much what this means too. So if you want a Blu-ray, if you want a T-shirt, if you want a poster, then you need to get in there within these 3 days. All right. If anything, I always say get the Blu-ray, because we don't know if we're going to be able to offer the Blu-ray again after 3 days, right? So this is your chance to get in there and get the Blu-ray. All right. I'll put a link for the Indiegogo down in the info box. As a matter of fact, here, I'll put it in the chat right now too, because I don't want you guys to miss out on some of these perks. There's some really cool perks in there. And let's see if that goes up a little bit. Maybe I can pin it. Yeah, here we go. All right. So I can't get to it fast enough. Replace pinned message. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I pinned it right there. You can go to the Indiegogo. You can support Days of Sodom. You can get the perks. And guys, I'm telling you right now, I have renewed energy. After the ordeal that we went through this last week and thinking that our fan film was gone, it's over, and then the drive and the motivation that Cody Falk had to say, no, fuck that. We're going to make this happen. It's happening. It's definitely happening. So, again, guys, 3 days. Get in there. Support. Get you some goodies. Get you some perks. All right? Because after 3 days, you might not be able to get the Blu-ray again unless we do another campaign next year or something like that. Who knows? Right now we're thinking about the money that we have from this campaign and what we can do with it. All right. But yeah, that's it, guys. Days of Sodom. Get in there. All right. Support this thing. Okay. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful film. All right. I'm so excited about it. So excited about it. All right. So let me show you some Gee Whiz type stuff real quick. What did I do there? Hold on. Cancel. Okay. All right. So we can close that out. Do I have any funnies on this? I don't know. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, before I can close out the crow, that's another image that was dropped pretty much right before the studio reached out to us. We had just dropped that image. Okay. I remember somebody was actually comparing that image to the Joker just by the angle of it, the way it looks, the direction that he's looking. It has a little bit of that vibe to it. All right. I always like to have little topics of discussion here for you guys, just to piss you off or make you think. I don't know. And do I like pissing my audience off? I don't know. Here's the first one, okay? Sometimes something will tickle my fancy on X. Can't call it Twitter anymore. X, and I'll have to share it. And this guy, Dave Schelt, he says, I don't care what horror dorks try and say about Halloween Ends. The idea of Michael Myers being old and decrepit living in the sewer like the actual monster he's always been was cool as fuck. And I agree. And that, you know what? We've had so many different debates about Halloween Ends, but this is the one thing that nobody ever really brings up. And it was kind of done in Halloween Resurrection. But just the idea of the monster being kind of at the end of his life and he's just hiding in the sewers, you know, or underground or somewhere like that, you know, and he's just waiting to attack. And how long is he going to be there? You know, it's kind of a cool idea when you think about it. So I liked it. I mean, I love the movie anyway. By the way, guys, I literally, while I was putting my slides and everything together, thank you, Chris. Thank you, man. You are a sweetheart. While I was putting all my slides and everything together, I threw in Halloween Kills. The reason I threw in Halloween Kills too is because I was thinking about our topic for 10 movies tonight, which is going to be fuck around and find out movies. And there's a little hint for you. Somebody brought it up on Killer Flicks. Halloween isn't really an F around and find out franchise, but Halloween Kills is definitely that movie because Tommy fucked around and he found out, right? So we'll talk more about Halloween Kills once we get to that countdown. I actually have like 12 movies I'm going to discuss. I'm really looking forward to this. It's just a fun topic, you know? And it's kind of like that phrase, fuck around and find out. That's one that I think it's kind of cropped up on us in maybe the past couple of years. Like I'd never heard that phrase before, but I immediately tied it to horror. I was like, oh my God, I guarantee you there's some horror movies that kind of fit in this category. So it's really cool, really cool. Let's see what else I got. All right. Did any of you guys see this? Halloween H2O 25 years later, or no, 25th anniversary, limited edition from Paramount. I didn't know this. Paramount actually, I guess they bought the rights to a whole slew of the Miramax Dimension films. Some of you might be able to help me in that, because I used to really, really be into the behind the scenes on like physical media and the studios and who owns what and all that stuff. I used to especially before I started my YouTube channel, I used to really dig into that stuff and get into physical media and the studios and the companies. And to me, like one of the biggest deals was when all these studios gave Shout Factory the right to put a box set together of Halloween. As a matter of fact, here it is right here. And they did this for Friday too, but I'll just show you like Halloween. Like you guys still have yours? But mine still looks beautiful too. It's in great condition. But I remember when this was announced, everybody was freaking out because like, how did this happen? This is amazing. All these freaking titles. You got Trancas, you got Dimension Films, you got Universal. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the gist of the Anchor Bay. Yeah, so you had 4 different studios here. And how they were able to like wrangle all those studios together to put this out was pretty insane. So, yeah, 25th anniversary of H2O. Now, are you guys going to get that? It is a sexy looking cover. It's a steelbook. I already got mine pre-ordered. I can't help it. I'm a Halloween fanatic. Even though H2O is probably down there lower in my ranking, it's still a fun movie. I guess that should just tell you how much I like pretty much most of the movies in the Halloween franchise. But this one, yeah, it ranks down there on the lower end, but it's still got some, like what it's got good, it's got great. You know what I mean? But what it's got bad, it's got really bad. That's for me. That's the way I look at H2O. There's certain things that irk me about the movie, but I'll definitely add this to my collection. That's a beautiful steelbook. Now, what do you guys notice that's kind of different about that steelbook? What do you notice, huh? Is something off there? Let me know. I'm gonna take a drink and see if it pops up. So, it's the has anybody said it yet? Yeah, thank you, Nicholas. There you go. The mask. All right. Somebody said, why don't they have the proper mask? This was on Blu-ray.com, because I still go on Blu-ray.com all the time. Somebody on Blu-ray.com said, why don't they have the proper mask? And I was like, what do you mean proper mask? There are literally 4 masks in H2O. Is there like a little ticker that goes across the top of the screen when the quote-unquote proper mask is presented? You know? I don't know. But that's the KB mask, which I thought this was the first time that the KB mask was presented on the cover of H2O. To my surprise, it was the second time that's happened, because I guess on the Echo Bridge release years ago, they also had the KB mask on there. So I thought this was the first time they put it on there. But I don't mind it. Like, of all 4 masks, hell, my favorite one is one that's never presented, and that's the curse mask from the beginning of the movie. You know? The Stan Winston mask, it's okay, but the eye holes are way too big. So, I mean, as far as like ranking, and I think I've done this before, I've ranked all the masks. H2O is nowhere near the top. Any of the 4 masks that are in that movie, they're all quite low down there, you know? I'm with Chris Snyder there. Halloween 2018, Halloween 6. You know, you pretty much any of the David Gordon Green trilogy masks and Halloween 6. Those are, and of course, the first movie too. But yeah, those are the creme de la creme. Creme de la creme. Okay. And while I have this up, I wanted to bring something up too, because I was watching the John Campea show. I watch the John Campea show from time to time. And he was talking about physical media is going bye-bye for Disney in Australia. And that's pretty freaking scary. Like, this is the first death nail, which means more is coming. You know, more is coming. I mean, guys, think about that. Is that scary? That they are going to be doing away with physical media in Australia for Disney movies. That's the start of something. Now, to put that into perspective, that means there's no physical media in Australia for Disney. Not, oh, but you have this option. No. That means it's only digital now. It's only digital. When's the last time has that ever happened? Pretty much since the dawn of physical media. It's always been there. You know? And now we are officially at the start of phasing out physical media, because it's got to start in one country, right? So it's kind of scary. It's really scary if you think about it. And you know, I love having the option to have digital copies, digital media, Vudu, Amazon Prime. I do. I mean, I use it all the time. I love it. But two things. When the internet's down, unless you download them, which they do give you that option, but when the internet's down, you ain't watching, right? What was the other thing? The other thing, what was the other thing? Internet's down, you ain't watching. And I think the other thing I was going to say was the price of physical media, because there's going to be leftovers that are around. It's going to skyrocket. Like, it is going to literally just, I mean, through the roof. Or eventually down the line, it'll creep back up, like say vinyl, you know? Because I remember there was a time, hell, this was like in the 80s, where vinyl was kind of phased out. It was always kind of around, but when CDs came along, then vinyl was gone. And nobody ever thought vinyl would come back. And now, I don't know if it's right now, but I know vinyl outsold CDs like a couple of years ago, and it probably still does. So maybe there's a chance that physical media, if it does eventually phase out, maybe down the line, because retro is kind of a big thing, it'll come back around. But during that window, physical media, again, it's going to skyrocket in price. It's going to be insane to get anything. So why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you this? If you want physical media to be around, and I'm talking about the smaller companies like Arrow Video, like Shout Factory. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I remember what my second point was. If you only have digital streaming, digital companies, I guarantee you titles that don't get rented or bought that often will be dropped. I guarantee you. They will be gone. Now, does that mean if you buy the title, when that title vanishes into thin air, does it vanish off of your catalog? Who knows? But that idea is there. If you really think that Amazon Prime or Vudu is going to have, like, let me go to my freaking, like, yeah, here you go. Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. A title like that. That's a deep cut Giallo movie. Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. It's on streaming right now somewhere, but who knows? 10 years down the line, Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward could disappear into thin air. Could never exist again, unless you buy it on eBay in a physical release. So I'm not here to try to tell you guys to, switch to physical media. No, have your cake and eat it too. Enjoy your digital releases, but I'm just putting this information out there for you guys to think about. Think about what 10 years from now is going to be like when this stuff isn't around, Do you want it to be around? Because if you don't want it to be around and you're fine with it not existing, then hey, that's fine, We all have 10 different things going on in our lives. I'm sure physical media might not be at the top of the priority, but I love physical media. I love it to death. I love the quality. The quality is just freaking top notch. And just the idea of it going away, man, that's scary to me. So if you do want it to be around, I would say especially support those smaller companies like Vinegar Syndrome, like Arrow Video, like Shout Factory. And you name 3-4 other small companies. There's probably a dozen of them. Now is the time to support those companies as hard as you can. If there's a title that you're really, you're thinking about having in your collection, buy it. But don't buy it through Amazon. Buy it through Arrow. Buy it through Shout Factory. That's how we keep those companies alive for years down the road. And maybe down the road when physical media is gone, they're able to keep their business afloat because of you, Hey, we can still have a small little market here of physical media. Now, it's probably going to go up in price a little bit. They'll be able to sell those for probably $50 a pop. Who knows? But again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but this is scary shit to me. As somebody who likes to collect movies, especially horror movies, I buy mostly horror movies. Like, what percentage of any particular genre do you guys like to buy for physical media? Do you like to buy pretty much, every type of genre, like say your superhero movies, your dramas, your comedies, or do you mostly just buy stuff like horror, or whatever your favorite genre is? Because that's kind of the way I am. I don't really buy anything outside of horror anymore, and I'll even admit, I think digital has a lot to do with that. I'm not knocking digital at all. As a matter of fact, just last night, guys, you know what I did? This is how nice digital is. And, I bought Never Sleep Again. Everybody's been talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was in the mood to watch. And I even watched the first 3 Nightmare movies over the last couple days. I'm in a nightmare mood, and so I thought, damn, I don't own Never Sleep Again. I'll go look on Amazon. I think I bought it on Amazon, and it was like $11, $12. Fuck yeah. I bought it and I got it right there. I got it now on Amazon, and I started watching it last night. It's a 4-hour documentary. But yeah. But yeah, I have a lot of superhero movies too, like Blu-rays. I pretty much I have every genre. I probably got like 700-800, maybe even I haven't counted. I haven't counted my collection. I might have 1,000 Blu-rays. I have no idea, and 4Ks. I don't know. But I mean, as you can see behind me, that's all VHS back there. I got a VHS player right there. I like having a physical media collection. I like having a VHS collection. I even like having DVDs. Sometimes I like having DVD. Like every now and then, guys, here's a little story for you. Do you have a movie that you kind of like watching the DVD for whatever reason, even though you might have the 4K? And that sounds ridiculous and crazy, but I have a reason for that. Sometimes I like to watch the, what is it called? There's an edition of Halloween that came out in, I think, 2000 on DVD. And it's not the 25th anniversary edition, because that's when they changed the color timing a little bit. But there's the version that came out before the 25th anniversary. And it even has like, it's even got like the 2 disc and it has the TV cut. There's a reason I like to watch that version quite often. And the reason being is the color timing. Because Halloween has, I think, 3 or 4 different color timing versions out there. There's the one that looks like summer, especially in the daylight scenes. I mean, it's just freaking popping summer. And then there's the one that Dean Cundy went in and he tried to make the summer scenes look like fall. And so it kind of looks artificial, though. And that's the version that you'll see on the later releases, I think even the 4K. Although the 4K looks beautiful. But the green looks artificial almost. It's kind of weird. So the version I like watching most is the 2000 version that came out. It's got like just Myers' mask on it, and the holographic version. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. I might have that right here. I got it. Here you go. See this? That is the holographic 2-disc version. Let's see. Is there a name for it? It's called the limited edition. And it actually has the TV cut on it. And it actually has these like postcards or cards too. But the color timing on this edition is great because the nighttime scenes, they're really like the blues are pushed out, So I don't know. It's a preference, but I just love the color timing on this particular version. So sometimes I'll just throw this in and watch it, because the 4K version, as beautiful as it looks, like if you saw this in the theater, usually the color timing you're going to see in the theater, especially back in 78, from what I've heard, is this. Okay? So maybe something you didn't know, but if you can track this version down, it's kind of like that Predator before they did the freaking Ultimate Hunter Edition Edge Enhancement. It looked like a video game. There's a version of Predator that looks like a video game. And so everybody was trying to buy the 2008 edition that has like all the grain intact and it looks dirty and muddy. That's the way Predator's supposed to look. It's not supposed to look like a video game, right? And I think because they made this really shitty looking version, it made people appreciate the more natural version, right? I know I've talked way too long about physical media, but don't get me, I could do a whole stream on physical media, right? I love this stuff. I do. And maybe that's another thing too, is when you get a digital version of a movie, more than likely, that version is going to be the same version throughout the rest of time. It's going to be the same color timing, same everything, okay? Same audio track. But when you get physical media, holy shit, especially when you're talking about big titles like Halloween, like Terminator 2, Alien, titles that have seen new releases throughout the years, usually there's something different about those. You might get a mono track in there. One of them might have a different color timing. One of them might be an extended edition, Just another reason why physical media is freaking awesome, okay? Because I guarantee you, and I posted this the other day, like, what's the one movie that you have the most, and I'll ask you guys right now, what is the one movie that you guys have the most copies of? All right, and I think my answer might be Terminator, the first Terminator, because I have it on VHS. I have a couple of copies of the VHS. I got it on DVD. I got like 4 different versions of it on Blu-ray. I don't even think has Terminator, the first Terminator, come out in 4K yet? But yeah, and I love the first Terminator. And the reason I bought it so many times is because either they'll like offer new special features or it'll be completely cleaned up print, you know. That's just, that's another great thing about physical media. Okay. It's really awesome. It's really awesome. And with digital, more than likely, you're not going to see an advertisement for a digital release to come out and say, wait till you get this version of the movie. We've went in and cleaned up the print. And we've given you like deleted scenes. That's another thing. When's the last time you saw special features for a digital version of a movie? It might happen like maybe once out of every 20 releases, but most of the time when you get the digital version, that's all you're getting. You're just getting the movie. Okay. So yeah. All right. We're going to move on. I'm sorry, guys. Jesus. Almost an hour in, and I can't shut up about freaking physical media. That report scared me, guys, okay? Damn it. Jeff Neal, what's up, brother? Scarface. Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, my God. I freaking love... Now, as far as how many copies of Scarface I own, I wish I had the VHS. I used to have it back in the day, but yeah, of course, I do have the DVD, and I do have the Blu-ray. But Scarface is one of my all-time favorite movies. That movie, guys, what's a movie that you can throw in every day? Every day you could have a big freaking smile on your face with that movie in the background. You might not be fully invested every day, but you can have it on in the background every day, you know? Honestly, guys, the first Halloween is like that for me. I could literally throw it in every day and I'd be fine. Just fine. Same thing with Scarface. Oh my God, that's a perfect movie. Oh, when he hangs that dude out of that helicopter, I can't get enough of it, guys. I can't get enough of it. Erica, oh my God, you're killing me. We all got our thing, I guess. We all got our thing. Halloween 2 every day. Halloween 2 is definitely like a warm blanket. Charlotte says Tremors is her comfortable blanket. Halloween 3 for Ashley. T2. Scream. Yeah, I could definitely see Scream. The Thing every day. Hell yeah. Halloween 4. Man, I live for them. It feels like a time machine whenever I watch them. I don't know what that says for the time we live in, though. You know what? It says hold on to what you what you hold dear. All right. Amber says Heathers. Yeah, Heathers is great. Heathers is great, guys. All right. What is your let's get real. Let's get real right now, okay? What is your favorite romantic comedy? And it could have a little bit of drama in there, okay? That's fine. If you want to dip a little bit of drama in there, just a little bit, just a cocaine sprinkle, that's fine. But what's your favorite romantic comedy? All right? Favorite romantic comedy. All right. And I'll tell you mine right now. Mine jumping out the gate with this is tough because there's a few that I like, but I will say I really, really like Say Anything. That's definitely one of my favorites. Something Wild is sort of like half the movie is a romantic comedy and half the movie is a thriller. But it's great. Oh my God. Polly gets it. Polly wins. Ding, 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 ding. Everybody pay attention to Polly, okay? True Romance. Doesn't get much better than that, right? Jesus, what a movie. That's a movie, right? That's a movie. Jesus. Man. 51st Day. I see a couple mentions of 51st Days. Last Samurai. Whoa. That's a freaking movie. Jesus. I should do like a non-horror stream sometimes because, guys, I love movies in general. You know, that's why I got into YouTube. It wasn't horror, but horror has my heart. But man, I'm a fan of cinema. I'm a fan of movies. You know, I could watch any Quentin Tarantino movie any old day. You know? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And Tarantino wrote True Romance. True Romance. But yeah, man. Yeah. I like maybe I'll do like top 10 romantic comedies. I got 10 of them. I swear to God I do. Okay? I can't think of them right now, but I'll have a list for you the next time. All right, hold me to it. All right. Okay. You know what? We might do a 3-hour stream tonight. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Okay, we can close that off. Guys, and be honest. If you do this, that's fine. All right. If you do this, that's fine. But and some of my old friends in there might be able to relate to this, but do you get annoyed when you see like everybody has a cell phone up at a concert? Like, and here's the thing, here's the test. Like when you're on YouTube and you're looking for live clips, I don't know about you, but when I see a live version of a song that's through a cell phone, and granted, there's some decent quality cell phones out there, but do I really want to be at a concert and hold a phone up for 4 minutes just so I can put it on YouTube? That's the first problem. But the second thing is, if I want to watch live footage of a song, I definitely want it to be like, professionally produced footage, right? It's hard for me to really get into a cell phone version of it. So and I'm not knocking people. I get it. You're there. Some people, it might be their only concert they ever go to, or the first, like that's Metallica. That might be the first time and only time they'll ever see Metallica. They feel like they have to get that phone up there. They got to put it in front of their face, and they gotta look at Kirk Hammett through that phone. That's what makes them happy in life. All right. I don't get it. I really do. And you know what? I'm putting my money where my mouth is, because I've been going to shows for the last 30 years. All right. So as soon as cell phones started creeping in, I was still going to shows. And I'll tell you right now, I rarely put the phone up unless, like, I've done like vlogs, and you can find them on my channel. But even when I do those vlogs, I'll hold that phone up for maybe like less than a minute for a song, just so I can put it on the vlog. But if I wasn't putting a vlog together, then I don't even hold my cell phone up. I just don't see the point in it. I want to just be immersed in the performance, and I enjoy the show that much more. All right. And I know I sound like an old geezer, but man, I guess, a tip from your Uncle Lee, when you go to your shows, think before you lift up that cell phone. Think, you know what? Am I really going to watch this? Like, am I really going to watch this? I might check out, like, and I probably won't watch all of it. I might I'm flipping through my phone. Oh shit. Yeah, that's right. I did. I recorded that. My phone's out of space, so I need to delete it. Yeah, let me delete it. Okay. And so, yeah, you're never going to enjoy it. You're never going to enjoy it. Because most people don't even look at pictures of their kids on their phones. They might look at 5% of the pictures that they take of their kids, because it's not that they don't love their kids, but they would rather be there with their kids and have that time with them. Same thing with a concert. All right. Put the phone in your back pocket and just enjoy the freaking show. Because I do miss the time before cell phones when I used to go to shows. Like, I saw Metallica and Guns N' Roses in 1992. Both bands were at the freaking tip top of their fame. And they were both in their like 20s. They were young. Not a cell phone in sight. And boy, was it a good fucking day to be alive. It was a good fucking day to be alive. Holy shit. It was amazing. It was amazing. I'm on the night train. Bottles up. I'm on the night train. And there's a reason I don't sing for a band. All right. Blackened is the end. Winter it was said. Throwing all you see. Yeah, good times. Freaking good times. All right. Next topic, next quick little thing. I got little quick things here, okay? Sharkula, I saw this on one of the horror sites, and then I had to grab it and I had to share it because these movies are just getting out of hand, and it's a great thing, and they're hilarious. The movie itself is probably god-awful horrible. But, Sebastian, the last time I went to a show, I think last year. I think I went to Rockville. Was it last year or was it 2020? It might have been before COVID. Was it? Yeah. You know what? Have I been to a concert since COVID? Damn, I can't remember, Sebastian. I know if I didn't, it was right before COVID. It was right before COVID. So, yeah. I love going to concerts for sure. It was hot. It was in Daytona. But yeah, Sharkula. I know that that's a horrible movie. It's got to be like completely horrible. But man, what if actually like Steven Spielberg? What if Steven Spielberg had nothing to lose? He's just sitting in a sea of fucking money, and he's high as a kite on coke. And one night he actually makes a business deal to make Sharkula. You know, and it's a deal that is like signed in blood. And he can't get out of it. So he has to make Sharkula. Wouldn't that be the most amazing thing ever? Dave Vanderoff, what's up, brother? Nice seeing you in here. Wouldn't that be the most amazing thing if Steven Spielberg said he was going to make Sharkula? Would that be the highest grossing movie of all time? Like if it was really that good, like if it was like Steven Spielberg good, why wouldn't it be, right? Why wouldn't it be? I don't know. Jesus. Okay. What's this one? Oh, yeah, that's that. We'll get to the Scream news, okay? We'll get to the Scream news. Okay, I think this is the last thing on the topics. I don't think Kyle Gallner would mind me sharing this, but this is what I woke up to this morning, okay? I woke up to that this morning. I was, yesterday, I dropped my review for The Passenger. Is it The Passenger? Yeah. And Kyle Gallner is phenomenal, amazing in that movie. And that's pretty much what I was gloating about in the review. And I went on about my day, dropped the review. By the way, guys, The Passenger is really, really amazing. Like, wow. If you want to see a movie that's heavy and dark and has amazing performances and it's gripping and it's got shock value in there. And the reason you're not hearing about that movie right now is because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike. They can't really promote it. They can't even talk about it. So I put out a review for it because Paramount sent me a copy of that movie about a month ago. And I didn't even think about that, because I recorded the review like a month ago. And I finally edited it and I put it out yesterday. And then I woke up this morning to that. And I'm still kind of wiping my eyes and I'm going through my messages. And it said Kyle Gallner. And I was like, that's got to be a fake account. But I saw the check mark and I was like, whoa, hold on. And then I clicked on it and I clicked on his account to see if that's really him. And oh, yeah, that's him. And wow, it was so cool. It was so cool to get a message from, I don't freak out and go gaga over celebrities, but I appreciate really, really great talent. If you're an actor that just blows me away, I don't care where you are on the rung up to the top. That doesn't bother. I don't care about that at all. Okay. Like it could be De Niro. Of course I would flip the fuck out if it was De Niro. If it was Stallone, I would flip out. But if it's Kyle Gallner, just because I really respect him as an actor, he's such a great and underrated actor actually. And that's kind of what I gloated about in the review. So when I get a message from that guy, I'm like, oh wow, damn. And so, you can see my response to him that, I've been following his career for a long time, which I have. And I remember when I first saw Haunting in Connecticut, I think that was might have been the first time that I ever saw Kyle Gallner in a movie. And right away, I was like, damn, this kid's got talent. He played this cancer victim that was like, it's one of those possession type movies. I think Haunting in Connecticut's really good too, actually. People don't talk about it that much. But the reason it's great is because his performance is really amazing. And he's like a teenager in that movie. And then he was in the Nightmare remake. He was in Jennifer's Body. And I think he's got a soft spot for horror because he was in Smile last year. And so that was a pretty damn cool, every now and then something really cool happens when you're doing this YouTube thing. And that was pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. So Kyle, I hope you don't get upset that I shared that. But yeah, that was badass. Okay. All right. Is that it for the initial topics? I think so. And tonight we're gonna do fuck around and find out horror. Okay. We'll get there. That's going to be fun. You know what? Let's go ahead and run through the topics. Jason from Sinister Cinema Reviews. I saw him in there. What's up, brother? Guys, I I probably watch Jason's videos every day on the way to work. I do. His videos are the perfect amount of time. I love listening to him and his wife just chat it up about movies. And it's like listening to friends. That's what it's like. And they just had like a video on a tour of their house, their new place that they got. And man, they are horror fans to the 10th degree. They really, and I love that about them. So, yeah, nice to see you, Jason. We got to get together and stream again, brother. He told me, he's like, dude, it's been like 2 years since we streamed, and it felt like it was like a month ago. Really weird, really weird. But that's time, right? Time freaking flies. Okay. All right, let's go over to the news. Let's start knocking these out. We will start with, I really want to do the nightmare, but I guess we'll start. Let's see. Did I? Hold on. Let me pull this up. Hold on. I usually have my, here we go. Yeah, official. Here we go, right here. Okay, yeah, Scream 7. Halloween Death Day filmmaker Christopher Landon officially is going to direct Scream 7. Now, guys, how do you feel about that? Are you happy? Does that make you tingly inside that Christopher Landon is doing the new Scream movie? I mean, I'm happy that they finally greenlit Scream 7. It's official now. I'll go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and say I am really, really ecstatic that it's Christopher Landon. Just because he is, I think, the perfect fit for a Scream movie. You know? Even if, like, Radio Silence didn't do the previous Scream movies, I would have been completely happy with his style of filmmaking, Christopher Landon. I think he is going to be really great, you know, because he knows how to handle comedy. And I'll say right now, let's go through the three movies that I've seen of his, Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2. I don't really like them that much. The first one, I gave it another watch last year, had a better time with it, you know, for what it was. And I think when I first went into that movie, I was wanting something really bloody and nasty. And I think my expectations were wrong. You know, I should have accepted that movie for what it was. It's more of like a horror comedy. The second one, I still don't like, okay? Because it's not a horror movie at all. It's not a horror. So I think if you're in the mood for a comedy, just a straight up comedy, like with a little bit of science fiction to it, then you'll be fine. But if you're looking for a slasher movie or a horror movie, the second one to me is just horrible. I don't like it at all. But the thing I do like about both those movies is Jessica Roth. So one thing that this does, you know, like we were freaking out about Radio Silence with Samara Weaving. Now, and I've heard this mentioned quite a few times, even in the past, way before Christopher Landon was attached to Scream, was that, man, it would be really cool if Jessica Roth was in like a Scream movie. Just because she fits that mold of an actress in a Scream movie, right? So does this kind of open up the possibility of getting Jessica Roth? Or if we jump over to his next movie, Freaky, now we're talking. I love Freaky, okay? That's just the horror slasher fan in me with a little bit of Freaky Friday and a little bit of Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton. I think Catherine Newton would be a great addition to a Scream movie. So, yeah, I'm excited. They couldn't have picked a better guy to do a Scream movie. You know, at least it's not Rob Zombie. Guys, what if they announced Rob Zombie was doing Scream 7? What would you? I need your reaction. Okay, what would your reaction be if Rob Zombie did Scream 7? Oh, God. Yeah, and I like some of Rob Zombie's movies, okay? Critical Overlord, what's up, brother? What's up? I'm going to be mentioning you. When we get there, I'm going to be mentioning you. Critical Overlord, man. Love that guy. He's a good friend. We both are, we go to press screenings. He lives in Florida too, but he lives, I think, Critical Overlord, don't you go to the Tampa ones? Something like that? Like, I had a chance to go see Barbie, but I had to go see it in Tampa, and I didn't have the time, so I didn't go see it. But I think Critical Overlord, I think he goes to the ones in Tampa. I don't know. But we chat back and forth on the Twitters, the X's, all the time. Hey, did you get your invite? Stuff like that. We always talk stuff like that. And sometimes he'll send me some nuggets. Critical Overlord, man, he gets the nuggets, So we're going to talk about sources and this whole Nightmare on Elm Street debacle, and some people, how they lost their minds, At the end of the day, it's news, it's rumors. It's not gonna ruin my day, So we'll get there. But let's run through this Scream news. Everybody's happy. Bloody, disgusting. Okay, Scream 7 Happy Death Day filmmaker Christopher Landon officially on board to direct. And there's the pretty guy himself, Ghostface. We all love him. He's got a personality, right? Ghostface is an interesting killer too, because it's always a different person behind that mask. But for some reason, when the mask is on, we just see him as Ghostface, right? It's hard to describe, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you see him as one person, even though it's a different person behind that mask. So, Bloody Disgusting was the first to tell you this morning that Radio Silence will not be returning to direct the upcoming Scream 7 due to scheduling issues, and we also let you know that Christopher Landon was in talks to direct. Well, it looks like it's now official. The Hollywood Reporter made it official this afternoon, reporting that Spyglass has tapped Christopher Landon, a scary movie stalwart, whose credits include Happy Death Day movies as well as body-switching horror comedy Freaky. Freaky is awesome, guys. Definitely check out Freaky, okay? And Happy Death Day, okay? The first one, I like the first one. To direct the 7th installment of the long-running franchise. This according to multiple sources. Okay. Scream and Scream 6 directors, Radio Silence, will remain on board as executive producers, as well as Chad Villa. What I'm looking for, guys, and let me know if you know, have they even attached the writers yet? Like, are the writers of Scream 6 or Scream 5 and 6 going to be writing this? I don't know. Let's keep reading. No word yet on who will be writing Scream 7. Man, I teed that right up. But the Hollywood Reporter reports that Melissa Barrera and Mason Gooding are expected to return. As for Jenna Ortega, only time will tell. Hold on. Red flag. Guys, how do you feel about that? If she doesn't show up on this thing, is that gonna, because some horror properties, when you don't have the, I guess the core 4, if you don't have all of them show up, is it gonna hurt you? Is it gonna hurt you? I don't know. Something's gonna be missing if Jenna Ortega doesn't show up. That's my opinion. All right. It could still be great. It could still be. You know what though? What would dry those tears? Tell me, guys. What would dry those tears in replacement of Jenna Ortega? Like, if this would happen, then I wouldn't even care. I'd be fine. I'd be okay. All right. I'll say that right now. And if that would be if Nev Campbell signed on to do this next movie, Sydney. Yes. If Sydney is back, then that's what's gonna dry those tears for Jenna Ortega. All right. It would be nice to have Jennifer Ortega, but man, if we get Sydney back, boy, you know what? They need to freaking dig deep in those pockets, those Scream pockets. All right. Because you know what, guys? Look how much money these movies make. All right. And they spend what? 10, 15 million on them, maybe 20. Pay that woman what she needs and give her a damn big, fat, juicy part. Okay? Give her the first. What if Sidney Prescott was the opening of a Scream movie? Has that ever happened? Let me think about this. Scream 1, 2, 3, 4. No. That would be kind of cool. If Sidney Prescott was the opening of the movie, that would be pretty damn cool. Okay? Man, they wouldn't have the balls to do that, to kill Sidney Prescott. I don't even want to say it out loud. Jesus. Somebody take it out of my mouth right now. That did not sound right. Jesus. Okay. So basically they're talking about what Christopher Landon wrote. We don't need to know all that, but what we do need to know is that Christopher Landon is the right pick for a new script. I can't think, guys, is there another director before this was announced that you were like, damn, I wish this guy would direct a new Scream movie, Because I think certain directors are perfect for certain properties. Like Mike Flanagan, no, I would not want Mike Flanagan doing a Scream movie. I think he does movies that are more darker in tone, a little bit more patient, I don't think he would be the right, but, and I'm wondering if a story's even written for Scream 7. Okay. Now, Jamie Blanks would be a good one. Jamie Blanks could be a good one for sure. For sure. John Carpenter would not be a good... Actually, you know what, guys? If John Carpenter did a Scream movie, I'd watch it. But, I mean, it's just... Scream has a rhythm to it, It's a dance. Scream is jazz, right? And then Ghostface pops up. I'm going to gut you like a fish. David Fincher, Erica. No, I'd watch it. But that'd be a dark... I mean, these last two movies got pretty dark, especially the last one. Like, guys, answer me this. Did you like the darker tone of Scream 7? Because I would even say Scream 7 kind of scaled back the comedy a bit. I quite enjoyed it, though. And I think it helped that it was in the gritty New York City. So, yeah. Now, the big thing I'm wondering, and what I hope they do, is they play around with the darkness in Sam, because the way things left off at the end of Scream 6 was pretty damn cool, No, she didn't go bad or anything, but the way well, it's right there when she's staring at that mask. I wonder what was going on inside her head, when she's staring at that mask. The possibilities going forward down the road that they could do in this franchise, and I do think they mix things up a little bit in Scream 6, by having the killer be killed at the beginning of the movie, which was kind of cool. The killer revealing himself at the beginning of the movie. They were taking some risks and they were trying some different things. So what do they do for Scream 7? Do they scale it back and do as like Mustafa Akkad would say and go back to the basics? Or do they keep, peeling back this onion and getting a little crazier? What do you guys prefer? Write it down in the chat. Would you rather them go back to more of a basic Scream plot, or do you want them to keep going down this rabbit hole? Surprise me. Do something completely crazy. Make Ghostface a fucking robot. Who knows? I do want them to go crazy, Take a risk. Land on your face. Who knows, right? Do something new, like Nathan Mills says, all right? Go to space. Fuck it. Scale back, guys. All right, pull it back. All right, we don't want to go to space. Also, make them not so immortal as they were in Scream 6. Yeah, and I think that was my jarring reaction that I had when I did my out of theater reaction. Guys, that's just the way I am. Okay, I get emotional about movies. I get stupid, and when I came out of Scream, I was pissed off just because. Yeah, I like these characters, but if you're going to fucking, freaking stab them like 15 times in the chest and then at the end just roll them out on a gurney. No, you can't do that. You can't do that, right? I think that's in page 37 of the script writing handbook. You can't stab somebody in the chest 18 times and then have them roll out on a gurney 30 minutes later. That's stupidity at its finest, all right? You didn't need to do that, all right? Somebody write the damn thing. Take a break. Like the guy's writing, he's like, oh shit, oh my god, I just stabbed Chad in the chest 18 times. And there were two writers. Hey, can you take a look at this real quick? Tell me where to go from here. I think I just killed Chad. You know? Chad's built differently. Frank Riker says, fuck Scream. Holy shit. This just got real. Oh, man. You know, Scream's that franchise that keeps me coming back because of the possibilities, where they could go. You know? I love Ghostface as a character. I love crazy twist endings. I always have, not just Scream. Any movie that gives me a whacked out, crazy, happy birthday to me twist ending that stands on its head, I love that stuff. You know, go as crazy as you possibly can with that twist. Give me twist after twist after twist after twist after Oliver Twist if you want to. You know, I love that. I love that. But like Jason's saying right there, Scream is the safest horror franchise ever. Because before 6, it's pretty safe to say they were playing it pretty safe, right? With every movie. And I think that's one thing that started annoying people to death. It's like, can you please try something different with these twist endings? Do we have to have 2 killers every single time? And maybe that's not even the problem, because when we have 1 killer, we still end up with the same problems. I don't know. Go crazy. You know, I still think that they should not reveal who the killer is at the end of the movie. He should get away. The killer should get away. To be continued. There's something that's got to be done with your kids, Marty. You know, that's what they should be doing with Scream. All right. If they watch Prime Night, they'd save time. Damn it. All right. Jesus. I lost it. Okay. That's what Scream does to me, though. You know? All right. Let's go to the next one. Here, this is the one. Okay, this is the one that's going to get me in trouble. Okay, let's do it. All right. Before I start reading that, let's go back. All right, let's go. Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what we're doing now. This is why you're all here. Okay. Wow. It's been a crazy week for Nightmare on Elm Street, right, guys? It's been a crazy week for Nightmare on Elm Street. Cats and dogs were living together, okay? People were losing their freaking minds. How dare you? You know? And I think I got the picture here. Hold on, let me show you. I got the picture here. Let's start with this, all right? Because this is what started it all, all right? I have it, don't worry. I did my homework. Here it is. Okay. Yeah. All right. The V-Scooper. That poor guy. Jesus. Did he think that 8,000 people were going to freaking retweet his post? And I know that the V-Scooper hasn't been around that long on Twitter. And I don't know who the V-Scooper is, okay? I heard about this because one of you guys retweeted it, okay? You know who you are. Somebody in there did it. You know you did it. You retweet. You saw it. You retweet. One of you was probably the first to do it, all right? And then people just like grabbed it. And you know what? I'm not going to blame V-Scooper. He didn't retweet it. He just posted it. Okay? And you know what, guys? Maybe V-Scooper knows something that we still don't know. Right? And maybe V-Scooper was drunk and high as a fucking kite one night. And he said, click, fuck it. I'm going to do a backflip right now. I don't care. All right? I'm going to post this and I'm going to go jump off a cliff. V-Scooper might have did that. He might have wanted to piss off the world. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Okay? Maybe that's what V-Scooper was doing, all right? But maybe V-Scooper does know something that we all don't know. Who knows? Maybe V-Scooper has a freaking nephew that works with his uncle that that was Robert Evans' freaking nephew, and they had a sleepover. That doesn't sound right. And then something happened, and Freddy Krueger got involved, and then Bob Shea got on the horn. I don't know. Something, a breadcrumb was presented. Okay, guys? That's what happened. It started with a breadcrumb, and here we are with the V-Scooper post. And why did it get retweeted 948 times? I don't know, okay? Somebody thought V-Scooper was reputable. I want a movie about V-Scooper. Fuck Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to know the story behind V-Scooper. This is like the Pamela and Tommy Lee tape, all right? And how that spread. Why did this happen? I need a drink. Jesus. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, to bring up Critical Overlord knows more than most of us. Okay. He gets scoops on stuff. Let's talk about sources. All right. Let's talk about sources first. All right. Hold on. Sources come in all shapes and sizes. All right. And I think you have to do your homework when you have a source. And I would even say Critical Overlord is one of those guys that he constantly does his homework on these things. He puts in more hours researching this stuff than anybody I know. So, the thing about sources is not every source is going to be right every time, 100% of the time. Even like the biggest, even Bloody Disgusting, they might get shit wrong. It happens. But I think the big thing here with V. Scooper is nobody really knew who V. Scooper was, you know, how legit he was. But I know that from his previous history, he has reported on some things that did happen. Okay. And so the point I'm trying to make here is you might have a source that is right 90% of the time or 95% of the time, you know, or 75% of the time. You know, sometimes these things are just rumors. So you just got to be careful about how you report that information. You know, does that mean if there's a 75% chance that something is happening, you know, somebody knows something's going on, something's fluttering behind the scenes, is it okay to report it to the public? And I'm not saying yes or no to that question. It might not be okay to report to the public. It depends on who knows it, who wants it out there, you know? But I think it just depends on how you report it. Like Critical Overlord, if he has a video that's just a rumor, then that's what he's going to put in parentheses. He's going to put rumor. I think the audience should know that, okay? Now, don't get upset and don't get mad at me if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't pan out. These things, they happen all the time, okay? But for some reason, when this guy posted this thing, the internet went crazy. And what does that mean? What does that mean? It means one thing, guys, okay? At the end of the day, it means one thing. You know what that thing is? We want a new Nightmare movie. So if anything, maybe this ruffled some feathers. Because I guarantee you some people up on high, they know about the V-Scooper. Maybe the V-Scoopers was a plant all along to get this ball rolling. Because the ball hasn't been rolling forever. Okay? Critical Overlord says, I dropped never before seen Jeepers Creepers cathedral images and exposed Lucas Adams as Derry Jenner. Laugh out loud. Yeah. He reports on so many different horror properties, and he's doing great work for the horror community, you know, getting the word out there. And his track record, I'm talking about Critical Overlord, more times than not, it happens, okay? So if Critical Overlord reports something on V. Scooper, then he probably knows something that I don't know or you don't know, you know? But at the end of the day, is it 100%? No, it's just a rumor, okay? But again, this really raised awareness to how important the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is. Okay? So then we get this update the day later. Okay? One Take News is a much more reliable. They just have a better track record. They've been around longer, you know, more established, right? Multiple sources. I can't read that because it's too small. Basically what they're saying is that the Nightmare franchise is not going to Blumhouse. Without reading that, Nightmare franchise, as of now, is not going to Blumhouse. But does that mean that it will never go to Blumhouse? No. You know, don't be surprised if 6 months down the road, Jason Blum's making this post. Okay, it's official. We have the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. There's still meetings going on, probably on a weekly basis about this thing. You know, right now, more than likely, Nightmare is not in any studio's hands 100%. Okay, or it could be. Who knows? But right now, there's some red tape being worked out, and it's not time. Okay, it'll present itself when it needs to. Now, one thing I was thinking about this, though, the report was that this was going to be a requel. Okay? A requel. And hey, thank you, Lucas. Let me read this real quick. Lucas Griffin. He says, I'm working out right now, so I'm missing a lot. I think Tara should be the character behind everything in Scream 7. Thanks, Lee. Love that I'm catching what I'm catching of the stream. Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate that. There's a lot of people that they want Tara to go bad. I don't. I like Tara good. I want Sam to go bad, I think, actually. You know? But, yeah. So, anyway, regarding Nightmare, do you guys want this to be a requel? Because I think Robert Englund himself said a few months ago that he's done. Just because he's too old. You know, he can't really play the character anymore. Now, I know Jason Blum has stated that he could get Robert Englund to do it. You know, he has a way with talent, making them feel safe. And, you know, what do you guys think? Would you want Robert Englund to come back? Or are you ready for somebody new? Okay, and we constantly hear Kevin Bacon. Yeah, Kevin Bacon could work, but Kevin Bacon's pretty up there in age too. If they're gonna, I want a new Nightmare franchise. I want a trilogy. Okay, I wouldn't mind them starting fresh with some new talent. If I'm being honest, I mean Robert Englund was pretty fresh. Yeah, he did a lot of TV, did V and stuff like that. But you know, Nightmare pretty much made him a star, a bankable name. You knew his name, right? So I would like an unknown, a really great actor to take on the role of Freddy. I think Robert Englund, as much as I would love to see him back in the role, I don't know if I really want a requel movie. You know? Could it be great? Yeah, I think it could be great. But if I had my choice, I don't think I want a requel movie. If I'm being honest, I'd like a fresh start, you know? Maybe learn some lessons from the remake. Maybe the remake was too dark, right? So I think they just need to find a balance, and I think they need a really good script. And you had like this stuff right here. You know, I held on to this tweet. Mike Flanagan put me in coach. I got a pitch. The guy has a story, you know? And I didn't read what that story was, but I know Mike Flanagan, I know he wants in the game. He wants to make a Freddy movie. And guys, can you imagine a Mike Flanagan Nightmare on Elm Street movie? Why are we saying no? I don't get this at all. The guy is one of the best horror filmmakers working today. Makes great TV, makes great movies. Why we're not letting this guy make a Nightmare movie, I have no idea. He would really make it great. He would make it serious. He would make it edgy. And by the way, guys, I just rewatched parts 1 through 3. And I really soaked it in and watched it, you know, because I've done like D-watches of them. And when you're doing like a D-watch or even just a video, you're not really focusing in on the movie as much as you should. So these last 3 days, I just like really soaked them in. I wanted to really just delve deep in. So that way I could kind of decide, is Nightmare 3 the best of the 3? Because we all go back and forth, you know. Sometimes we say Nightmare 3 is the best. Sometimes we say 1. Hell, 2 is gaining such a cult following. I've seen some people come out and say 2's the best now. What do you guys think? Which one's the best? 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3? My answer, I don't know. Because, and that's not a cop-out. I think it just depends on what you're in the mood for. If you want just your straight up dark Nightmare movie with Nancy in the beginning of it all, then you watch the first movie. If you want to think outside the box, do some really weird and crazy shit, completely different score, just a different tone, different vibe, and just the darkest, edgiest Freddy ever, you go with 2. If you want to just have a good time, but you still have a really great script, you got super strong characters, you got this great mental ward setting, psych ward, you know, then you go 3. That's the great thing about those first 3 Nightmare movies. They all 3 feel extremely different, and they're all, I think, great. Equally great. And I watched all 3 of them with my wife. This is the first time she'd really ever watched the Nightmare franchise. Because we just went through all the Chucky movies a couple weeks ago. And one thing my wife found out about herself, she loves Chucky. She says, oh my God, that is a funny little fucker. And she always thought that Chucky was going to be the dumbest, stupidest freaking franchise ever. And I'm not a Chucky fanatic, but I know what Chucky is, and I like Chucky for what he is. But I thought for sure my wife would be like, I can't watch this. We watched the first movie. She was like, that was really fun. We watched the second movie. She was like, holy shit, I love this guy. She loves Brad Dourif. She likes the way he's just an asshole, So I thought she might have that idea with Freddy. And one thing I learned about the first 3 Freddy movies was Freddy's not in the movies that much. If you compare how much Chucky is to how much Freddy is in the movies, I didn't even realize. I think he's mostly in 3, of course. But in part 1 and 2, Freddy's not in the movies much at all. Very little. And maybe that's part of why he became such a big character, because he didn't overdo it. And I think maybe in the later movies, he just goes a little bit too over the edge. But maybe there's just too much of him. Maybe Freddy is better in small doses. Would you guys agree with that? As great of an actor as Robert Englund is, when you have him in small doses and he delivers those great lines, maybe it just works better, So, yeah. So where do we stand right now with Nightmare? Nowhere. Like, we don't know. But I think things are happening behind the scenes. And I think we're going to find out sooner than later because of all this brouhaha. Now, are we in an echo chamber? I don't know. We could be. Maybe I'm making a big to-do out of nothing, Maybe Joe Sixpack doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, okay? I don't know. We could be in an echo chamber, but people were freaking out. I mean, hell, look how many freaking retweets that guy got, the V-Scooper, So there's definitely an audience out there that is craving more Freddy, right? So, yeah. Okay. So we did it. We got through the Nightmare. All right. Real quick, I want to go through this with you guys. Hold on. I didn't even read through that story. Okay. I don't need to. If I don't need to read through it, why should I do it, right? Okay. This is something I just kind of stumbled upon, and because I'm such a Hulk fanatic, I loved The Incredible Hulk 2008, I thought, you know what? Why not read this real quick, okay? The Incredible Hulk director reveals scrap plans for MCU sequel. So there was an MCU sequel planned for The Incredible Hulk 2008. It looks like there was an interview. So you guys can go and watch the interview, but I'll just read it here. Incredible Hulk will forever be the strange, odd child of the cinematic universe. With Phase 4 and what's going on right now, I'm really missing the tone and the vibe of 2008. Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, all that stuff. I miss it big time, even Captain America. The film's characters, storylines, and even its star, Edward Norton, were all left out of subsequent MCU films with Mark Ruffalo. Boy, that pissed me off, man. And I think Edward Norton did it to himself, but it still hurt, man, because I loved Edward Norton as Bruce Banner. But, woof, that was rough. With Mark Ruffalo bringing a new take on Bruce Banner, the Hulk, and I don't think Mark ever found the rhythm of the Hulk like Edward Norton did in one movie. However, Incredible Hulk director Louis Leterrier is now explaining there were some extensive plans in place for Incredible Hulk 2 at one point. Yeah, there was like a whole sequel. The filmmaker went into more detail explaining that Incredible Hulk 2 would have seen various versions of Hulk introduced into the MCU. There was like a gray Hulk, red Hulks. There were a lot of good stuff that we were planning. I know the leader was supposed to be introduced too, if they stuck to what they did in the first movie. It's wild to hear that Louis Leterrier describes Incredible Hulk 2 as having both Bruce Banner's alternate gray Hulk persona and not one, but seemingly multiple red Hulks. We still haven't had a red Hulk, and I'd love to have a red Hulk in a movie. The MCU didn't venture much deeper into Hulk lore after The Incredible Hulk. Not until She-Hulk debuted in 2022. Now rumors are swirling that the upcoming Captain America Brave New World will debut Harrison Ford as Red Hulk, and Liv Tyler possibly making a return to the franchise to play Red She-Hulk? What? Okay. I don't know. Gray Hulk seems to have been sidelined in favor of Mark Ruffalo's Smart Hulk evolution, which I love that. That's sarcasm. Much to the chagrin of some diehard Marvel comic fans. Hulk is a complex character within the Marvel Universe. You want the Primeval Hulk, the Rage Hulk. That's what I want, guys, okay? If you like the Smart Hulk, that's awesome. But I never got into the character. I got into the character because of the rage, you know? Because we can all relate to losing it and being angry and wanting to just rip someone apart. And the Hulk the Hulk was kind of our outlet into that, you know? Because we couldn't do it in real life, you know, without getting in trouble maybe. But that's how I vented things out when I was young, you know, through the Hulk. Leterrier was careful to conclude by saying the Hulk will see now how the Hulk we see now is very far away from the Hulk he was trying to build. Damn. Yeah, because Leterrier, he loved the darkness, you know. That's when the Hulk is his best, right? So that was for me, guys, okay? I'm sorry if I bored some of you guys with that, but I'm a Hulk fan. I'm a big Hulk fanatic. Jason's got a question for me. Here we go. He says, hold on, let me get back over to the main screen. Okay. If you could write and direct any horror franchise sequel, what it would be? I know mine, Blair Witch. I got an awesome pitch. Ooh. I mean, I think my knee-jerk answer would be Halloween, because I used to even have dreams about different Halloween stories, you know, that just kind of formed themselves while I slept, you know. I don't know exactly what. I mean, I used to have this dream where Myers was at a carnival, you know, like he got loose in a carnival and he was hunting Jamie Lloyd down. That's an actual dream that I used to have back in the like 90s. And it was intense. I remember it was intense because Jamie Lloyd was running for her life and Michael's chasing her at the carnival. I mean, it might be a really stupid idea, but yeah. Dia Dream, Halloween fan film coming. Man, after we get through this Crow film, because years ago I was going to do a Halloween fan film. I even like promoted it in my Halloween 2018 Revisited video that I did a few years ago. And I think it was more of a lesson than anything about how hard it is to create any film, even if it's a fan film. You have to have a lot of resources in place. It's hard to do it on your own. And I've always been this type of person that I hate asking people for help. And even when I know that I can't do it by myself, you know? So I think it's just one of those situations where I gave up. You know, it just it got bigger than me, you know? And I had a lot of ambition in my head about what I wanted the story to be. Yeah, guys, I can tell you a little bit of what I wanted it, and it's pretty out there, okay? And it might be really horrible. Okay. If I can remember correctly, because it's been like freaking, 2018 was when I was thinking about doing this. I remember it was called Halloween Transference. I'm so embarrassed that I'm admitting this, but fuck it. It was called Halloween Transference, and the basic idea of it was it was going to take place in two timelines. It was going to take place in 78, and it was going to take place in the present day. And somehow Myers, his presence, for some reason or another, and I can't remember what I came up with, but his essence, his presence was going to transfer from one timeline to another. From a person that's in the Myers getup to another person. And this is way before Halloween Ends. Maybe that's why I like Halloween Ends so much. To a person in the present day. And when this guy becomes Myers, he doesn't even know. It just enters him. And then he like wakes up and he's Myers. And he's got like a family. That was my idea. Okay? Now, before you unsubscribe my channel, I do have snacks, okay? Just so you know. How's that? That was my crazy fucking idea. How in the hell would you make that? Okay. Freddie, you have any hope for future Friday the 13th films? Absolutely. I'm curious to see what they do with this TV series. I know a lot of people, they say, I don't want Pamela Voorhees. I think you can have your cake and eat it too. I think they could do a TV series where you have both. And I like Pamela Voorhees as a character. I would love exploring a young Pamela Voorhees, you know? Now, is that profitable? Maybe not. You know, a lot of people, they want Jason. They want the hockey mask. I get that. But for me, it's deeper than Jason. I like the whole world of Friday the 13th. I like Pamela Voorhees. I like the camp environment. If you give me a camp environment with Pamela Voorhees and some killing, I might be happy with it, you know? I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, but that's just me, right? That's just me. What's the best trilogy of the Halloween movies? Deonta and Rade. I know I butchered that. Well, I'll always be a Thorn trilogy fan at heart. Those movies are definitely not perfect, but there's a little bit of nostalgia there. And I've always... those movies have always been my heart. So that's my answer, the Thorn trilogy. I love the Thorn trilogy to death. Okay? It's pretty much what got me into the franchise, you know? I mean, that's back when I was 15, was when Halloween 4 came out. And I just remember waiting patiently for 5 and 6 to come out. And 5 to 6, woo, that was a long wait too. It was brutal. But yeah, I know 6 has a lot of problems, and I really do wish that Danielle Harris would have been able to come back, and I would have had a different story there. As much as I love 6, I think it would have been cool to have Danielle back, have her live, and or maybe just die at the end, but she be kind of what Kara was. I think that would have been really cool, you know? Danielle Harris and Tommy Doyle. That would have been kind of cool. So, yeah. Jason says, a TV show will 1,000% build the Pamela Jason. Good. I would love to work on that show. Yeah, like, Jason brings up a good point, too. Like, what if you start the first season and boom, it's Jason in the hockey mask? What are you going to do for freaking 8 episodes or 10 episodes, you know? You're just going to have Jason killing people over and over and over again? And then you would have to, because it's like 10 episodes, you would have to focus on these outside main characters, you know, and build all those relationships that we might not even care about. So at least with Pamela, you got something to build towards, you know? There's a whole world that you can play with there. You can explore Pamela Anderson. Did I? I said Pamela Anderson. What's on my mind? You can explore Pamela Voorhees' psyche. What makes her tick? What causes her to go over the edge? You know, and you could have nuance with it, and it could be great. And then you could work your way towards Jason, and you could have freaking 3-4 seasons of that, and it could be amazing. So yeah, I'm with Jason on that one. All right, guys, fuck around and find out. Let's do it. You guys ready? Give me a. I'm just gonna say fuck. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble if I keep saying fuck over and over, but I don't like saying f around. Okay, I'd rather say fuck around. Okay, it's just a word. All right, it's not gonna hurt anybody. Okay, everybody rub oil all over yourself. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna give you, and I'm gonna clip this out too. So I don't know, maybe I'll get in YouTube trouble, but whatever. So I'm gonna give you 12 fuck around and find out movies. Now let's set the table first. What does that mean? Okay, because I did see some people posting movies that aren't necessarily fuck around and find out. Okay, because the definition of that type of movie is when the protagonist goes into a situation where they know there's a possible chance of danger. You know, that's set up in Act 1. They go in there, there's a possible chance of danger, but they go anyway. Okay? Now we have a fuck around and find out movie. All right? Because they find out. Okay? That's what makes this fun. So, technically, just your standard slasher movie, if the characters, like I saw some people mention Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one. I don't think, FAFO, I like that, FAFO. Okay, FAFO. If a character goes into a house in Texas, but they don't know that there's danger there, they're just going to get help, to maybe use a phone. That's not a FIFO. Okay, that's not a FIFO. Would you guys agree with that? A FIFO is there's a chance of danger. Okay, they know that. If I go in here, if I put my hand in the cookie jar, I might get it bitten off. You know, that's what makes FIFOs fun. All right. So, yeah, let's do this. This is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to this. All right, this is gonna be really fun. All right, so let me get my let me get my title up here. Here we go. And let me take my topics off. We don't need that. Okay. All right, here we go. FIFO horror. The Haunting. Let's see, I got House on Haunted Hill. John Wick is definitely FIFO. Yes, it is. That's the fun thing about FIFO, too, is it goes to all different genres. The action genre has tons of FIFOs, okay? But horror definitely has some, okay? And I'm going to have at least one non-horror movie in here that came to mind, just for fun. Okay, so I'm going to give you a dozen. This is not a ranking. When I get to number one, that's not going to be the greatest FIFO movie of all time, okay? So, yeah. I'm just giving you 12 random movies, all right? All right, so we'll start at the bottom here, okay? We'll start with this one. It's a new one. Talk to me. This was the movie that gave me this idea, okay? After I saw this movie, which I freaking loved, by the way, what makes it a FIFO is they go to this party and there's this hand and they know that it's dangerous if they grab this hand, you know? So it's one of those situations where you're at a party and you know there's some kind of danger and everybody's kind of daring you to do it, you know? And everybody gets to enjoy your reaction, and it's usually harmless if you stay in 90 seconds. But if you go over 90 seconds, then some bad shit can start happening, okay? But on the surface, that's a great idea for a movie, but this movie goes even deeper, you know? And, man, I love the freaking ending of this movie. Wow. This might be one of the best endings I've seen in a few years. Like, I remember I'm sitting in the theater loving the hell out of this movie, how dark it goes, this character Mia, how she has a really fucked up background, you know. It just seems like trouble always finds her, you know, and I love characters like that. And then she plays this freaking game. This is like the worst type of person to play a game like this, because it's going to bite her in the ass. And boy, does it. And you're like, as you're watching this movie, you want to give her a little bit of sunlight, but it just it just goes darker and deeper and darker and deeper throughout the whole movie, you know? So you start feeling like, man, this ain't going to have a good ending. This is not going to have a good ending. I'm not saying if it does or not, but that's the feeling, okay? That's the feeling you get. And boy, yeah, it's a great example. It's a pure dyed-in-the-wool example of a fuck around and find out, okay? Yeah. All right. Next one. And guys, let me know if you disagree with me on this, but I think I think The Descent is a really great one, because when they went in that cave, some of them didn't know, so I guess they wouldn't qualify, but Juno knew that there was a chance of danger going into that cave because she didn't have the directions. There's a chance they could get lost, right? So just that was, you know, and there's been stories like this where people, they go hiking somewhere, they go on an excursion and they freaking die. You know, 127 hours. Shit happens all the time, right? And so that's what happens in this movie. But it was the worst imaginable thing possible. There's a whole freaking albino race of blind freaking creatures down there, you know? But boy, is this a great freaking movie. Oh my God, I love The Descent. The Descent is probably, like, if I did like top 10 modern horror movies in like, say, the last 20 years, The Descent might be number one. It might be number one. It is so freaking good. Don't you worry, Jason. Don't you worry. It is so freaking good, The Descent. I love this movie to death. to death. Just because of the emotion. Like, guys, tell me a horror movie that makes you cry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and admit it. I cried like a bitch when I watched The Descent. It's heartbreaking when you see, like, depending on which version you get, she gets out of the cave and she's crying. You ever cried for, like, pure happiness? Like that somebody got out? And, yeah. I think it's just the relationship between Sarah and Juno. That's what really gets me emotional in this movie, because they were friends, and this really, really bad thing happened between them, and it ruined their friendship. And then they end up going down, and Sarah is in a situation where she feels like she needs to kill her. Can you imagine that, being like, maybe not best friends, but you're pretty damn close. You're part of a freaking core. And getting all the way to the point where you feel like you have to kill that person, because you're so damn hurt. Yeah. This movie touches on emotion big time. Nicholas Vincent. Quickly. The Descent sequel. No. Oh my God. It's sad too, because it's pretty much trying to repeat The Descent, because it's the same type location, but it looks cheaper. The script is horrible. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong in the sequel, as far as like writing a good story. I've watched the sequel maybe twice. They literally have the creatures taking a dump in a freaking pool with some of the victims done, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And there's no way in hell Sarah would ever go back down in there. There's no way in hell. No way in hell anybody would let her go back down there. Okay. So, yeah. All right, next one. Classic right there. Might be another ultimate FAFO. Okay? This is one of those greedy corporation type movies. Which sucks, because they're not in danger, because they're not going to LV 426. It's the crew that has to go. And they don't really know of the danger, but the reason this is a FIFO for them is because when John Hurt gets down there with those eggs, he could have just walked away, right? But he got curious, and he looks down there in that egg, and people give Prometheus shit because those two guys, they were messing with those creatures. And that was like one of the biggest complaints against that movie. And I'm thinking, they did that in the original Alien. And you didn't have a problem with it then. Sometimes a character has to make a stupid decision to push the story forward. Okay? Otherwise, you don't have a movie, right? So, and that's what John Hurt's character did in the first Alien. That freaking egg, the parasite came out, got him in the face, and then we were off and running. And what I love about Alien is it's not like an abrupt alien like xenomorph right at the beginning of the movie. No, you got to get through a process to get to the xenomorph, and that just makes it that much scarier. And can you imagine watching Alien in the theater in 1979, not ever seeing a xenomorph in your entire life, not knowing what that parasite was going to turn into? Can you imagine the absolute fear that audience would have when they first saw that freaking creature like lowering down on those chains? And oh my, I would pass out. I'd probably pass out. We've seen the xenomorph a million times, so it doesn't affect us now. But man, back then, Alien was scary as fuck. Okay? All right. Next one. Now this one's definitely, there's no debate whatsoever. This is the true definition of a FAFO right here. Okay? Bunch of idiot criminals going into a blind man's house, but they don't know who they're messing with. They do not know who they're messing with at all. And the blind man, not only is he this kick-ass soldier, but he's got like a dark secret too. He's got a freaking victim down there in the basement, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And then to make matters worse, these characters, they're in the dark, So this is one of those movies where, oh my God, he completely slays, And what Jane Levy, what Jane Levy goes through in this movie, whew, brutal. I like the second one too, actually. The second one's pretty good, but I think even in the first movie, even though the blind man is a bad person, there's still an element of likability to the character. So that I think that's why I never had a problem with the direction they went with him in part 2, because it was more about his daughter in part 2. That's who you were rooting for. He was just kind of a byproduct of it. And if he's the only one that can protect her, then I guess by proxy, you got to like the guy. I get you want him to protect her. That's what it's all about, So, yeah. Yeah, and Don't Breathe is such a great movie. Holy crap. Put Fede Alvarez on the map, too, even though he did Evil Dead before this. After he did this movie, I was like, I'm definitely curious to see what this guy's going to do, All right. Next one. All right, here's the one that's not horror, but it's irresistible. And I love it because it's a situation where the cops fuck around and find out. This guy, John Rambo, he just wanted to go get something to eat. He's going into this small town, not hurting anybody. And then this cocky-ass cop pulls up beside him, and he's like a freaking, a thorn in his side the whole time. Just leave the guy alone. But no, what does he do? He keeps constantly pestering him and saying, get out of my town. You're not welcome here. And so Rambo's just like, what the fuck did I do? I just wanted to get something to eat. You know what? Screw you. So he goes back in. And so this is a situation where the cops fuck around and find out. Okay? They should have left the guy alone in the first place. They should have let him go to a diner, get something to eat. We would have never had a Rambo franchise if not for the Brian Dennehy. He pretty much created the Rambo franchise, because he fucked around and he found out, right? So, and there's even a scene in the movie after Rambo is going through all of them. And oh my God, DDLive, Jesus. Rambo is one of the greatest freaking action films ever made. And you know what? The reason it's such a great movie is because it's not like full-blown action. There's a lot of heart to it. There's a lot of tragedy to it. And I think what makes it work so well, too, is the approach that Stallone took to the character. Because originally, the script was supposed to be like 3 hours long. Stallone, he hated it. He was like, my character talks way too much. And he has these really cheesy, stupid lines. So Stallone said, let me rewrite the script. I'll get it down to an hour and 40 minutes. What does he do? This is an actor without an ego. He cuts out almost all of his lines. He says this character should talk with his actions. He should never say a word. And so it makes the end of the movie that much more impactful because he kind of just has this explosion of emotion at the end. He starts talking about the shit that he has had to put up with as a Vietnam vet. And man, Stallone gives a very underrated, beautiful performance at the end of this movie. It is great. But he pushes Brian Dennehy's character up against this tree after he goes through all. He doesn't kill any of them. That's his warning. I could easily kill every single one of you just like that. But I'm letting you live. And so he tells him, he's got his knife up against his throat and he says, don't push it. Don't push it or I'll give you a war you won't believe. But the guy's ego gets the best of him and he wants to keep coming after him. So, man, oh my God. I freaking love First Blood. Jesus. That's a great freaking movie right there. DDLive, you need to check out First Blood. Wow. Rent it. It's so good. Okay, next one. Boy, this might be like, if I had to do a number one as far as like the situation and stupidity, it might have to be Flatline. Am I right, guys? I mean, that's stupid. These doctors, they're students, I think, right? Great movie, by the way. But they want to pretty much kill themselves to see if there's any kind of afterlife, because I think they all come from different backgrounds. You might have one of them that's like a Christian. I believe one of them is an atheist. I think it's Kevin Bacon's character. But, they want to find out if there's anything in the afterlife. Or what happens when you die? Does anything happen? And they have this whole thing where they can be brought back to life, And it's it's kind of like Talk to Me, where the longer they stay under, the more dangerous it gets. And, of course, it's a movie, and they're going to ride that line, and then they keep trying to one up each other, and then it gets really, really dark and heavy. They did a remake of this movie that is an absolute fucking abomination of a movie. It is. How dare, and you know what? I'm not mad that you tried to remake Flatliners, even though I don't think you should remake movies that are great. And Flatliners is great. Like, what's the point? Other than money? But don't make a bad movie. Don't make a stereotypical, shiny CW-like movie. No, don't do that. I hated it. I hated it. I'll never watch it again. It has no right. Ultimate FOFO. Ultimate fuck around and find out movie. For sure. Yeah. Great freaking cast, right, Jason? Jesus. You got freaking Julia Roberts. You got Kiefer Sutherland, Oliver Platt, Billy Baldwin, and Kevin Bacon. Man. Really great. Really great. Lost Boys FOFO. Guys, let's think about that real quick. Hold on. Is the Lost Boys a FOFO? Because sometimes you got to think about it. Well, I mean, I guess it is because, especially in terms of Grandpa's living in a town where he knows vampires live, right? Yeah, I guess so, because also Kiefer Sutherland, he's tempting Michael to try out this, to do things that are dangerous, like hanging from the freaking trestles, So I think Erica might be onto something. Would you guys agree? I think it might be a FOFO, right? Yeah. All right. Next one. It's a fun one. Gremlins. Another really great example. I mean, he's giving, you got to freaking, don't get them wet. Don't feed them after midnight. And I always forget the third one. What's the third one, guys? Right? Don't feed them after midnight. Don't get them wet. Damn, I always forget the third one. Damn it, guys. But there was 3 rules that he had to follow, okay? So automatically, you got 3 chances of finding out, okay? There's no way. Light. Do not get light. Thank you, Vinny. Yeah. Don't get light on them, okay? That's a dangerous freaking pet. You should not have a freaking mogwai, okay? You don't want to take that chance. Because if you get them wet, they're going to multiply. And how are you going to give them a bath, right? There's no way. We get them dry cleaned? I don't know. And if you feed them after midnight, they become a killer freaking gremlin, okay? So you got to be really stupid to own a mogwai, okay? I think you got to be really, really stupid, all right? I think that's it. This might be the stupidest FOFO. Okay? I think the normal person, if they knew those rules, then they probably wouldn't take the chance. Right, guys? Does this count because those rules are vague? He was bound to break one without breaking. Yeah, of course. But he knew. He knew Erica. He should have just got a dog, a puppy, right? There's a level of stupidity that you put your freaking hand in the mousetrap, you're gonna get bit. Okay. Here's one. Now tell me why this is a FOFO. Okay, this is a test. Okay, I'm gonna test you guys. Why is Halloween Kills a FOFO? Right? And I think it's an easy answer. I think you guys will know the answer to this. But I was thinking most of the Halloween movies aren't really FOFOs. Okay. Well, I guess maybe they are after the first one, because if you keep living, if you still choose to live in that town, but you can't just get up and move. That's expensive, right? You got to figure things out. So, I'll take my chances. I'll let Myers come at me. But Kills especially is a FOFO. There is no release date for Scream 7. Yeah. No one knows. You know, not even the president of the United States knows when Scream 7 comes out. You know, that's how secretive it is. Okay. All right. Yeah, maybe there's ends could fit in there too. I don't know. But I'm trying to think, why would ends be a FIFO? I don't know. But Kills is a FIFO because of Tommy Doyle. Okay? Because Tommy Doyle, brave as he was, and guys, as time has went on, and every time I watch Halloween Kills, I kind of like Tommy as a character. I think there are characters that we like that fuck up, you know, because they're brave. Tommy Doyle, he was scared, but he was brave. And, you know, he did what most people probably wouldn't do. He said, you know what? Somebody's got to fight the guy. You know, so he rallied everybody up. But boy, did he find out, you know. Sometimes it's honorable, I guess, to try to be the FIFO, but he paid the price. Boy, did he pay the price, right? He underestimated Myers. You know, you do not want to fuck with Myers. You're going to get killed, okay? And that's what happened to him. And what I love about Kills is that look in his eye at the end of the movie. After all had been said and done, he thought he got him. You know, he had all the crew there. They beat him to death. They thought they beat him to death with the bats and whatnot. And they shot him. But then he gets back up. And I love the look on Tommy's face when he sees all of the mob getting killed one by one. And he knows his turn's coming. That's what I love about that scene. He's like, shit. I fucked around. I found out. You know? Yeah. But as time goes on, I think I like Tommy as a character because at least he tried, you know? But, I mean, how do you beat Myers, right? When he's in tip-top form, you know? I know a lot of people complain about Corey manhandling Myers, and I've explained it to you guys 5,000 times. And most of you know the answer, but you don't like it, okay? But, you know, Ends is simple. It's really simple. Ends is Myers after a hella beating. He's old as fuck. His body can't handle anymore. He's on his way down, right? And this is Corey. This isn't a human being. Corey actually had the evil in him at the time. The evil gave him some strength. He was on his way up. So as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, I understand it. I get it. That's evil versus evil. Evil on its way up versus evil on its way down. And it was a tough fight. You know, I think if Corey was, if Corey was just a regular human being, yeah, Myers would have killed him in a fucking heartbeat. You know, but it wasn't what people wanted. And I think Corey was the thing there. If you hated Corey as a character, you weren't going to like Halloween Ends. It just wasn't going to happen, you know? Whereas I really enjoyed Corey as a character. I loved the character. So, yeah. He's our spirit animal. That's right, Erica. Yeah. Okay. Here's the one Jason was talking about. This might be the ultimate FAFO. Okay? You know that that box is not safe, all right? There's this mystery behind it. There's this legend of it. You know that there's a chance, you know, even though you know you're opening up what you think might be paradise. And I think paradise does exist inside the box. I don't think they've ever found it yet. They always end up opening up the fucking S&M bar, right? But yeah, when Pinhead comes out, you could see the look on their face. Oh shit, I just royally fucked up. Okay, I'm about to find out. And let me ask you this, guys. As far as like all the movies I've been through so far on this countdown, what's the one movie that you would not want to fuck around and find out? Okay, I think it might be Hellraiser. I mean, all of them would be really bad situations to be in. But if I had to not be in one of them, I think it would be Hellraiser. Because you could possibly suffer for eternity, right? Tiff says she's sick of talking about ends. I'm sick of it too, Tiff. I'm sick of it too. I'm only going to make 3 more videos about it, and then I'm done. Okay? I'm done. All right? Okay, yeah, Hellraiser, that's pretty much I don't even have to explain that. That's definitely a FAPO. Okay. Next one, Jaws. I mean, this might be the easiest one to avoid. Just don't go in the water, right? Stay out of the water. Yeah, your businesses are going to suffer. You're going to be on welfare for the summer, but you'll be alive, right? Go to a different beach. Who knows, right? Go to a beach where there's no shark, right? You don't even have to move, really. All you have to do is drive. Get in your car, drive for like, say, 2 hours, okay? 2 hours. Even do some homework first and find out, hey, is this beach right here, are there any shark attacks? No? Okay. Kids, get your floats. All right, let's load the car up. Let's head. We'll be there in 2 hours, okay? This is the easiest avoidable FAFO. All right? But, Brody, he doesn't learn his lesson. He's sitting there fighting a fucking shark. Like, Jaws is so good. That movie's so good because they convince you that these people need to enter that water. They convince you. And what's crazy is they keep going back in the water. It's not a one-time deal. They go in, they get eaten, some of them come out. What do? They go back in, some of them get eaten again, and then they come back out. And what does Brody say? We got to go in there and we got to kill the shark. So they go back in. Quint gets half his fucking body eaten off, and then they come back out. It's the dumbest thing ever. Okay, they should have shot the shark up into space. That's what they should have done. So yeah, somebody mentioned this next one, and it's a good one on Killer Flicks. Predator 2. Predator 2 is the first Predator a FAFO? No, because they were already there, and they didn't know that the danger was there, right? So if you don't know, then that doesn't count. But if you willingly go into there. So what makes Predator 2 a FAFO is Gary Busey, because Gary Busey is an idiot. And he got greedy, and his team, they wanted to research the Predator, and so they're stupid. And so they try to lure him into not just a normal place with the comfortable air conditioning. Let's take him into a freezer, so that way he can kill us and we'll be cold when we die. So, yeah. So it didn't work out. But Predator 2 is a good one. I like Predator 2. That's it. That's it. We did it, guys. That was all 12 of them. What'd you think? Was that fun? I like thinking outside the box and coming up with interesting rankings for you guys, not really even a ranking, just a top 10. I call it 10 movies, but I really like doing this. It's really fun, next week I'll try to think up another, but yeah, last week we had a good time too, right guys? Remember, or no, it wasn't last week, it was the week before that, but we did divisive horror movies. That was really fun. And I let you guys decide what's divisive. We had a good time, right? So, damn, 9:15. Let me check my notes here. Oh shit! Damn it! Should I do it? I was gonna do like a live review from Barbie, but do I really want to piss half of you off? Do half of you want me to piss you off? I'll piss you off if you want. Because I don't really want to sit down and review Barbie. I figured I could just cover it here and tell you what I thought of it. Nathan hasn't seen it. I'm probably wrong too, okay? According to the internet, because everybody loves that movie. But yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's talk about Barbie real quick. I'll give you a quick little live review of Barbie. All right. I was curious. I wanted to see this movie really bad because it was kind of the new cultural phenomenon. And I love, and I still love, even though I don't like the movie, I love that two original properties came out at the same time and everybody got excited and everybody got back in the theaters again. And these movies made freaking crazy buttloads of money. So that aspect of it, I love. I love it to death. I think it's great, And so going forward, and I know a lot of you guys really liked the movie. I'm not, I don't, I think you can already tell I didn't like the movie. But the point of this review is not to try to convince you that this movie's bad. No, this movie's good. In your eyes, in my eyes, any movie that I walk out of and I enjoy for whatever reason, isn't that a good movie in your eyes? Yeah. So you had some fun with the movie. You were on board with, I guess, the point of the movie, right? And maybe, I think movies, they click for different people for different reasons. And I think that was the situation for me too. So I went into this movie with my wife. I kind of begged her to go see it. She didn't really want to go see it. And we went and saw the movie, and I thought for sure it was just going to be fun. Even though I did hear some negative reviews of the movie. And this is one of those situations, because this movie does have kind of a political discussion going on around it, because it's a feminist movie, which that's fine. I like feminist movies. The Accused with Jodie Foster. That is a feminist movie. The Working Girl from the 80s. That's a feminist movie done right, okay? In my opinion. All right? In my opinion. I wanted to go into just kind of a lighthearted, fun Barbie movie. Should I have gone to Barbie knowing that I'm not really into Barbie dolls? Maybe not, but I was curious because of all the hoopla around it. I knew that Greta Gerwig directed it, and she's a talented director. And also, I think a big reason people went to this movie is because of two things: Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. Though they are bankable actors, they are both bona fide movie stars. We like to have this argument these days about the movie stars gone. I disagree with that. I think there are still movie stars around that get people to want to go see movies. I think Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie together in a movie is not a bad thing. And I'll even say this. I think if they got two no-name actors in this movie, it wouldn't have made half the money that it did. I think those two names are so bankable. I think especially Ryan Gosling, he's very picky with the types of movies. So, and that was kind of what grabbed my attention. I was like, oh shit, Ryan Gosling, if he's doing this movie, there's got to be something to it, right? Because he's pretty picky. So, I don't really even need to give you a quick plot synopsis. It's basically the intertwining of two different worlds. The Barbie world mixing with the real world, and those are two very different worlds, right? The Barbie world, they're all Barbie dolls, and they go by a different set of rules. And the women, the Barbies, are pretty much the rulers, and they lead everything. They're over the kins, the men. So it's kind of the way this movie's presented. When they get to the real world, it seems like the situation is the opposite. It seems like the women are looked down upon, and it seems like the men have all the power. And I know it's just a movie, and I just felt like this movie was beating me over the head with how much of a piece of a shit I am. Okay? Maybe that's not what it's doing, but that's what it felt like. They said the word patriarchy way too many times. It was the evil dies tonight of the movie, okay? So, before I go any further, too, I think I need to set the table, even though you guys know what I'm about, okay? You know that there's a group of YouTube channels and even people out there that they have a certain mindset when it comes to these things, If anything is involved with like Disney or Marvel, they're automatically against it before they even see it, okay? Because they have their own, I don't know if I want to use the word agenda, but they have their own thoughts about the way those movies are being presented. And you know what? I'm not here to say they're wrong. A lot of the things they say about those movies, there's like a grain of truth in there. And I think it's just the way they constantly beat a dead horse. I think that's what it is. It's not even their opinions on the movies. It's just the horse is beaten to death, and then it's revived again, and then it's beaten and beaten and beaten. And you're just like, Jesus, what are you left with after it all, Whereas me, I go into a movie, I tell you what I think of the movie, and then I move on. And, and I'm not saying I'm right and they're wrong. They do their thing. That's fine. Okay. So that's the type of person I am going into a movie. And I'll even say I've fought that battle against people, using the word woke. I've made videos defending movies that people called woke. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but I just had an opinion, right? But I've stated this in the past. There are exceptions. One exception is the Black Christmas remake. Okay. 2019. And the reason that movie to me was woke was because it set aside the actual intended purpose of the movie. And the purpose of that movie was there's this killer and these college students, and they're trying to defeat the killer. That's what a Black Christmas movie should be about, right? And they didn't even have Billy in the movie, and I was willing to put that aside. Just give me a good slasher movie, and instead it was a I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar. And I'm not against women. It could be I Am Man, Hear Me Roar. Okay, I'm all for equal opportunity horror. Okay. If it's a group of guys fighting a bunch of women, that's fine. I don't care, okay? I just don't want my head beaten down with a freaking message, all right? But I've defended movies like the Candyman remake. I've defended Evil Dead Rise. I think the list goes on and on because I think there's a tendency for people to constantly say that things are woke when maybe they're not, And again, it's just my opinion. I don't know. But I went into this movie thinking for sure, no, this is not going to be woke. There's that audience over there, and then there's like normal people over here. And this movie's going to be fun, and it's going to be good. And as far as like getting offended by things, I don't get offended by things at all. I'm not offended by this movie. I just didn't like it. It sucked, okay? But I'm not offended. And what does that mean when you get offended by something? That means it stops you in your tracks and it ruins your day. It might ruin your whole day. Or it might be ruin, a portion of your day. But if you're truly offended by something, then it's like it constantly creeps in your brain. Like, God, that's really bothering me. Why did he do that? Or why did she do that? To me, that's what offended is. So I always have this saying, and it might be stupid, but my saying is I don't have time to be offended. And what that means is I'm always busy with my life and doing everything that I do every day on a day-to-day basis. So even with movies, I watch them. They're either bad or they're good. And I move on with my life. And that's just the way I've always been. I don't get offended by movies, but I can call a spade. And when a movie fucking hates guys, I'm going to say that movie hates guys. I'm sorry. It just does. Okay. And maybe that was the point of the movie, to hate men, but I had to literally ask my wife, because my wife to me is the very definition of a feminist. Okay. She's lived a life of a feminist. She has literally been catcalled and she's had guys literally try to force themselves upon her. Not, the R word or anything like that, but she's seen what an attractive female goes through. Let's just put it that way. Okay. My wife thought this movie was just kind of ugly in terms of the way it was portraying men, And I was kind of surprised by that. I was like, really, babe? She was like, it felt ugly. It didn't, like when we walked out of the movie, it didn't feel hopeful or positive. And I was like, okay, I just want to check, okay, because she's not the type of person, Usually, I thought for sure my wife was going to love the movie, if I'm being honest, But yeah, I just didn't like the way I felt after watching the movie. And so, putting all that aside, this is supposed to be a comedy, right? As far as the comedy, and I know comedy is extremely subjective, and a lot of people are going to go into this movie, and if it's the type of comedy that they like, then it's going to be great. So if you push all that, the man bashing aside, if you laughed, that's something, right? I think there were quite a few times where they were setting things up for a bit. You know what I mean? Like in, say, Saturday Night Live, or just a comedy bit. There's a setup, and then there's like a punchline. Right. And usually it's a nice surprise and you're like, oh, wow. And then you're laughing your ass off, To give you an example, movies like Anchorman or Step Brothers. Ironically, Will Ferrell is in this movie. And I think those movies, when you watch them, there's a setup and then there's just this payoff. It could be payoff with really great characters, or it could just be a situation. But whatever it was, it made you laugh your fucking ass off. Okay? And again, comedy's subjective. All right? For me, when I was watching this movie, there are quite a few moments where I was like, oh, especially involving Ken, putting him in the real world, and the rules feel different. And I was like, I guarantee you this is going to be a setup, and there's going to be just this hilarious moment because people are going to be completely off put by his reactions to things, And they'd set things up like the scene with the doctor that's a woman. But then it just doesn't like pan out, And there were quite a few moments throughout the movie where I was like, damn, it'd be interesting if it went this way, but it went this way. And I didn't laugh, okay? So, yeah, at the end of the day, guys, I'm not going to bore you, but I just did not, I found the movie kind of annoying. And it'll just die in the ether, and then I'll and I'm glad the movie's making money, and I'm glad that people are having a great time with it, and I would never, ever try to take that away from anybody. Like I said, movies are subjective. We all are affected by movies in different ways, and that's fine. That's great. And if you guys love this movie, and you go out and buy it when it comes out, and your sides are splitting from it, that's awesome. That's awesome. Unfortunately for me, it just didn't land at all. There, not to take anything away from it, there were some couple of funny moments throughout. I liked the one. I forgot her freaking name, but she's the doll that's like all beat up, because her owner completely like manhandled the doll, and like her legs are in the splits. I thought she was kind of fun. Kate McKinnon, that's what it is. Kate McKinnon. And I like Kate McKinnon. She's really funny. I think she might have been the best part of the movie for me. But unfortunately, this is the Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie. Matter of fact, Margot Robbie didn't really do much for me at all in this movie. And she's like the main focal point. There's a couple of moments. There's a couple of cool ideas that they play around with her. But overall, it was just, I didn't really, I don't think they sent it home in terms of what the overall message for her was entering the real world. So, yeah. So that's my thoughts on the Barbie movie. Okay. So at least I can say I reviewed it. If I gave, for me, I'd give it a 2 hours lost because I'll never watch it again. But yeah, I felt like I wanted to at least discuss it and talk about what I felt about it. So yeah. So anyway, guys, Jesus, 2.5 hours. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I'm going to go get me some McDonald's now because I'm starving. But yeah, I hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. I love you guys to death. Take care of each other. And I'll be reaching out to you guys for more ideas throughout the week like I always do. You guys are a big part of this, and you guys are what makes these things fun. And so, yeah, we're getting to 100. We're going to be on 100 freaking episodes, and I can't believe it. I still remember when I started DDLive number 1. Feels like so long ago, but damn, I can't believe I think this is 92. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, take care of each other. Love you guys to death. Love being a part of the horror community. There's no judgment here. Everybody loves each other. And, yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way, right, guys? People don't know that aren't horror fans. They don't know how lucky we have it that we have each other, right? Because horror fans can have a conversation. They can disagree. And they can still, be friends. And it's awesome. They don't take shit to heart like, some other circles do. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, love you.